If you're watching this video, you probably already know that the Messiah's Hebrew name is not really pronounced as Jesus, as there's never been any J sound, either in Hebrew or in Aramaic. The Greek and Latin manuscripts read Jesus, but we know that's not really correct either, especially considering it was Greek names and not Hebrew ones that traditionally end in an S. But if the Messiah's name is not really Jesus or Jesus, then how is the Messiah's name pronounced? And why should we care? What difference does it make? In Acts chapter 4 and verse 12, we're told that there's only one name under heaven that is given among men by which we must be saved, and that there's no salvation in any other name. If there's only one name by which we must be saved, then don't we need to know what that name is? At John chapter 5 and verse 43, the Messiah tells us that he came in his Father's name, but that he was not received. Then he said that if another were to come in his own name, he would be received. What did the Messiah mean by this parable? And who could this other Messiah be, who came in his own name and was received? In Hebrew, the Messiah's name is Yeshua, or some say Yahshua or Yahushua. Some scholars point out that those who call on the Hebraic form of this name, Yeshua or Yahshua, tend to self-identify not as Christians, but as literal Israelites, and that they also typically want to keep the laws of Moses, or what's called the Torah. This is because they understand what the Messiah said in the Beatitudes, in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17, which was not to think that he had come to do away with the Torah or the prophets, and that as long as heaven and earth still existed, nothing at all could pass away from the Torah. Then he told us that whosoever should break even the least smallest thing of the Torah, or should teach against the Torah, he would be counted the least in the kingdom of heaven. Yet those who did and kept the Torah and taught it to others, they would be counted as great in the kingdom of heaven. As a general rule, those who call on the name Yeshua practice a form of worship that is in many ways qualitatively very different than those who call on the Hellenized name Jesus. Those who worship in the Hebrew name Yeshua tend to believe and practice what is known as continuation theology, which is the idea that the Messiah did not come to do away with the Torah or the laws of Moses, and that he did not come to do away with the prophets or with the Israelites as a people. In contrast, those who call on the Hellenic name Jesus or Jesus tend to practice what's called replacement theology, which is the idea that the Messiah came to replace the nation of Israel with the Gentiles, and that he came to replace the Torah with just simple favor or grace. Yet this philosophy tells us that the Messiah did come to destroy the Torah and the prophets, even though this is the exact opposite of what he told us to think. Even though replacement theology flies in the face of the Messiah's own words in the Beatitudes, replacement theology is the predominant philosophy within mainstream Christendom today. And this is why some scholars tend to believe that Jesus represents a kind of a Messiah who did not come in his Father Yahweh's name, yet who was accepted, while at the same time the Hebraic Messiah Yeshua was rejected. But if the Messiah's people rejected Yeshua when he came in his Father's name, then what does it mean that he came in his Father's name? Many believers know that the Messiah's Hebrew name is actually the same as that of Joshua, the son of Nun. In the Tanakh, or the Old Testament, Joshua's name is Yahashua, meaning Yeho, or Yahweh, will save. In the video on pronouncing Yahweh's name, we saw how the Creator's name was Yahweh, Yahweh, or perhaps Yahuwah. We also saw how any of these pronunciations, and perhaps even others, might be equally valid, seeing as Yahweh's name might really be intended to approximate the sound of human breathing. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7 tells us that Yahweh breathed into man the breath of life, and some scholars believe that Yahweh is our breath of life. When we Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah, and perhaps several other vocalizations all serve to approximate the sound of human breathing. We'll show a bit later why the exact vocalization, the exact sounds, may not really be what's important. But could it be that every breath we take might have been intended as a pronouncement of Yahweh's name? Most scholars agree that this name can be abbreviated either as Yah or as Yahu. We find this shortened two-letter poetic form in the expression Hallelujah, meaning praise be to Yah. We also find this short form of Yahweh's name incorporated into many Hebrew names, such as Yirmiyah and Yirmiyahu, or Jeremiah. This name means Yah will rise. We also see names such as Yeshayahu or Isaiah, which means Yahu has saved. But what this shows is that both the Yah and the Yahu short forms of our Creator's name are found throughout the Tanakh.